Powered by passion, it's National Auto Care's Fixed Ops 5 with your host, National Fixed Operations Training Manager, Corey Smith.
Welcome to Fixed Ops 5. I'm your host, Corey Smith, with special guest Joe Chambers, Fixed Operations Director at International Imports. Joe, thank you for being a part of the show.
Oh, thank you for having me, Corey. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. How is Chicago these days?
Well, we had decent weather in the spring, so it's not all bad, right?
That's great.
Yeah, Chicago's good. It's a great place to live. A lot of car dealerships are doing very, very well in Chicago.
That's great. So a few weeks ago, Ron from Fixed Ops Magazine and I talked about MultiPoint, and really from the technologies span of what the MultiPoint really means and trying to get that to the customer very fast. So what I want to talk to you about is what are the goals of the MultiPoint from the dealership's point of view in your mind?
Well, I mean, from the dealer point of view, we're really there for one reason and one reason only. We're there to provide a service for the customer. I mean, we were open during the pandemic, being an essential business, and that's really what it's about. It's providing that service and that safety and value to the customer, knowing that their vehicle is operational and in the best condition it can be.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and we kind of talked about this a few weeks ago too, is that today's customers are really strapped for time and dealing with a lot of distractions in their professional and personal life. How do you guys do it at your dealership to get that MultiPoint to them and be concise in a manner that will fit their needs?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. The customer is very, very cramped for time. And what we do is an electronic MultiPoint, and we send it through various mediums. We can text it, we can email it. Heck, we can even print it off if they like. It's whatever the customer is going to want, but we need to get it in their hands. We need to get it in their hands quickly.
Yeah, and too often, you know, from what I've seen is that advisors overcomplicate this part because they don't want to really upset the customer. So do you guys train on how to really present the MultiPoint?
Oh, absolutely. We have a presentation. One of our managers, or each manager, does a presentation training session with the customer, with the advisor, and the advisor really needs to know where that customer is coming from and the reason they're there, in order to present that MultiPoint with the best impact for the customer, whether it's safety or value or whatever.
Right. And, you know, keeping it simple, just like you said, you know, in using, you know, just some basic phrases like, Joe, this passes our inspection, or Joe, your tires fail our inspection. Again, sometimes advisors want to put in other words so they don't upset the customer, but really the customer just wants to know the facts.
Absolutely. And, you know, and what's really important, especially with a lot of advisors, is that they throw in car lingo words, and we really want to stay away from those. You know, well, the diag is this, or your rear diff is this. And it just doesn't work out that way. They need to talk the customer's language, and they need to talk pass-fail information, like you said.
Yeah. And really to further talk about the advisor, they really need to think, well, why does a customer want the MultiPoint inspection? Well, why do we want a physical, you know, from the doctor? You think of it that way. I just want to know what's going on with my vehicle because I'm not a technician. I'm good at breaking things, right? Fixing them's not my thing, right?
No, yeah, you're right.
So that's the point of view from the customer's end, as I just want to know about my vehicle.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. And that's why they bring it to us. And that is our basic function in the dealership, at least in our dealerships, is to provide that inspection and that checkup to the doctor or to the patient.
Yeah, exactly. And there are desires that each customer has, and the advisor almost has to kind of recognize that. You know, the desire for one customer could be safety, and they have to talk to that customer a particular way, right? And one customer could want reliability and dependability. I want to make sure it starts and goes from point A to point B. Performance. I mean, I'm sure your dealerships own a really high performance vehicle that the manufacturer makes. That person buys that because they want to go fast. They want to go, you know, they're not looking to save gas mileage, right? And then you have that customer that wants to protect their investment, right? By buying a service contract or, you know, taking care of the service before it really breaks, right?
No, right. Yeah, and you're absolutely right there. Again, is whether it's an investment or the performance aspect on a, say, Subaru WRX STI or an Audi R8. Those guys, they want something very, very different than our Kia customer. Our Kia customer needs reliable transportation right away that they can always count on. That's going to be safe. So our advisors have to learn what is the main reason for the vehicle to that customer.
Yeah, and then they have to do it rather quickly, and then you can do some things in between that time, and the MultiPoint will help bridge that gap to trying to figure out, is this customer, do I need to speak safety to this customer? Is it performance? Is it reliability? Is it protecting their investment? What is their hot button? And I need to figure that out fast, right?
Yeah, and they do. You're right. They have a very short amount of time to figure that out. During the interview process at the write-up, they need to figure that out, and they have to present the MultiPoint in that fashion, because if you're going to present a MultiPoint for a safety issue to somebody that's worried about performance, it's not going to fly, and you're not going to be doing that customer service.
No, you're not speaking that customer their language. You're right. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
So, to further the point, putting your customer in the driver's seat, giving them options, speaking their language, educating them throughout the process really will bring down that wall and help educate them on how you are doing business. I think that is really what the advisor's goal needs to be, and they need to think about it like that. And I hope this episode really helps the advisor and the dealership kind of think of, what is our goal for the MultiPoint? What is the goal for the customer when we give them a MultiPoint? And how do we portray that fast, accurate, and give them an experience?
For sure. We always want to take away the mystery behind the wall, right? The mystery behind because you walk in, you see the advisor, and then whatever happens is behind the wall with the technicians. We tend to keep that a mystery to our customers. We want to be transparent, and the advisor needs to understand very, very quickly in that interview process what the customer wants and be able to present everything in that method, in that language. Because if you're talking French to somebody that speaks Russian, they're not going to understand.
That's perfect. That's spot on, Joe. Well, that's all the time that we have for today, Joe. I really want to thank you for being a part of the Fixed Ops 5. We have other examples. To learn more, please email me, csmith@nationalautocare.com. Please subscribe to our podcast. It's on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Our next podcast will be the 5th of June. Joe, thank you again for being a part of this episode. Really looking forward to hearing more from you about what you guys are doing as a dealership and how Chicago is really up and coming as we head into summer.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for watching and listening to National Auto Care's Fixed Ops 5 with Corey Smith, powered by Pasha. Be sure to watch and listen to the next episode on the 5th and 20th of every month.